Hey everybody, Heart from My Heart Wine here again tonight with another episode from the kitchen. Tonight we're going to be talking about Chablis, one of the classic white wines from the Burgundy region of France. Chablis is part of Burgundy, although it is way up here on the map compared to the rest of Burgundy. It is still technically part of Burgundy, where they make almost entirely Chablis, and Chablis made from Chardonnay. If you're one of those people out there who says you don't like Chardonnay, please go out and try some Chablis. You might feel very differently about it. So tonight in the kitchen, to go with our Chablis, we're going to be making some scallops and some risotto with lemon zest and chives. To start this evening, I have some onions already cooking here in the pan. Alright, we're going to let them cook a little bit. They're getting to where we need them to be. As really just some onions, salt, a touch of olive oil in that pan. Alright, we're going to cook that till it gets translucent. In the meanwhile, talk a little bit more about Chablis. Again, Chablis, the northernmost area of Burgundy, where they make almost exclusively Chardonnay. They do grow a little bit of some other grapes there, but really this is the one we want to talk about tonight. Fresh and bright, very lemon apple, beautiful. Traditionally unoaked. They make these in stainless steel vats, so there is no oak, so there's not going to be any that strange vanilla. Not that it's strange, I really shouldn't say that. It's strange to me. I'm not really a fan of oak Chardonnays, but this is unoaked, so you're not going to get any of that this evening, and that really wouldn't go well with our scallops and risotto this evening. So, alright, we got one more little swoosh there. Alright. Those are almost done. Be almost moving on to the next step. Chablis has three main AOCs. So you have Premier Cru, Grand Cru, and Chablis. You also have Petit Chablis. Petit Chablis is meant to be drugged young, and the regular Chablis AOC is also mostly grown on the plains, where they've really expanded out into after the 1980s when Chablis was hot. So this was a fairly newer growing region for them. Again, traditionally you're growing up on the hillside, which were much better growing conditions for Chablis. Again, it's why you have those higher ratings. It's not really the right word for that, but more prestigious growing areas as you go up the hillside. The middle of the hillside is always sort of the premier spot. Alright, so that's really where you want to be, if at all possible. That's where all the Grand Crus come from. Premier Cru usually come from above that, which is still good. It's talking about some great sunlight up there. And then the rest of it comes from the plains of the Chablis area. Still great wine. And we're going to find a great value as well. This wine was a little over $20, thanks to some tariffs recently going on between the United States and France. These prices have gone up a little bit over time. We should actually start seeing them come back down sometime soon. Okay, so here I have my Avorio rice. Okay, this is what risotto is made out of, traditional Italian rice here. They're pretty sure it came from Spain originally, actually, but it's become a staple in northern Italy. We're actually going to put that in the pan dry for a second. All right. Just going to toast that up for a second. It kind of releases some of the extra flavors that are going on there. That's in the pan now with the rice. So the rice is in there, I should say, with the onion. Okay, I'm just going to give that a little toast. And then I have some vegetable stock here. Actually, it's hot already. You really don't want to be adding cold stock to your rice. You're going to stop the cooking process. Once you get that going, you really just want to keep it going. So it's just going to be like a gentle stir now until it is ready to go. Okay, and the oil rice is very starchy, so that's going to give us a nice creamy texture. When it's done, it should be a lot like lava. It just kind of flow out onto the plate. And that's going to go perfectly again with our scallops and with our Chablis this evening. There is actually wine in this recipe here as well. Now that it got started, I'm going to go ahead and add that half a cup of wine. Okay. I'm using the same wine that I'm drinking this evening. You don't have to. You can use, if you have a cooking wine around the house that you prefer to use for this. But really, if you can use the same wine, if you're okay putting that price point of wine in your food, that's always the best way to go. That's going to pair just even better than it already was. All right. So this is a lovely 12.5% alcohol. It's a great dinner wine. The French in general make awesome dinner wines personally. It's my personal preference. They're not super high in alcohol content like some of the California wines, some of the Australia wines you're going to find a lot of times at that 14.5, 15% alcohol. Which, if you're having with dinner, having a couple drinks, you need to drive home, may not be your best suggestion. Of course, tonight we're cooking in the home, so that's not a problem whatsoever, but either way, I definitely suggest you drink responsibly. You don't want to get banged up and head out on the road, all right? That's not a good situation for anybody. Alright, as this continues to cook, we're just going to go ahead and put a little more stock in here and keep that going. Alright, this process is probably going to take you about 20 minutes. I'm not going to keep you here the whole time while I'm cooking this for 20 minutes, but basically we will jump momentarily to the finished product. I'm going to show you a little prep work to go with the lemon and chive portion of this evening, and then we'll jump to making the scallops. Alright, so here we're just going to do a little prep work for our risotto this evening. We'll be doing a lemon and chive risotto to go with our Chablis. Initially thought I was going to go with something a little less lemony this evening. This tends to be a really nice winter risotto with lemon and chives. Lemon's something pretty available in the wintertime as far as a fruit goes, or vegetable fruit in this case. You know, traditionally you wouldn't have a lot of fruits and vegetables left at this time of the year, just kind of going into the growing season. So I'm just zesting this lemon. So the zest is basically the very outside of the skin. You don't want the yellow, you do want the yellow, not the white, not the pith, okay? So that's not what you want here. You really just want the fine yellowy of the yellow skin, all right? So I'm just gonna, I'm actually using it's more like a cheese grater than an official zester because I'm doing the whole lemon. If I was just taking a little piece, I would use my official zester, but honestly, that's a pain in the neck for a whole lemon. All right, I get that all set up there. All right, and I'm going to cut up my chives here. Pretty small cuts for my chives. Okay, not looking for any overly aggressive tasting pieces, really more garnishing. Okay, just to get a little green in there. Okay. We're just going to toss those in the bowl with the lemon zest. All right, so lemon zest and chives. Again, this is more of a last minute flavor garnish for our risotto this evening, right? It's going to pair nicely with our scallops and of course our Chablis. Let me give this another taste here. It was a nice lemony Chablis. Some of the Premier Cru and the Grand Cru Chablis definitely going to get more of a flinty, earthy kind of taste on them sometimes, which may not go great with this lemon risotto we're doing here. In that case, if you have one of those, I may recommend a mushroom risotto, or again something maybe just a little more earthy, maybe some butternut squash or even some beet. A root beet risotto is very nice. Alright, so we're just going to give this a little stir, and we're going to let this sit while we cook everything else because we want that flavor to really just kind of soak in there. Alright, so that's your lemon zest, chives, and a little olive oil, and actually I'm going to put a little salt in there too. And a little salt. Alright, maybe a little black pepper too. What the heck. Might as well season it completely, right, while we're getting everything else done here. Alright, give it one more little stir. Okay, and that is set for once our risotto is done. We will add that in at the very finish. Again, so this is, like as I said earlier, this is a Chablis AOC. So this is a regular AOC, regular Chablis. It's a little on the lemony side, lemon apple, very traditional. Lovely. It's going to go great with our scallops and risotto. I'll show you more of that in just a moment. Okay, so our risotto is just about done here. And we're going to finish it off with a couple little touches here. Just to give it a little extra flavor, we're going to add in some butter to finish it off. And we're going to grate in some Parmesan cheese here. Okay. Again, this is just all going to go awesome with our Chablis. I like a lot of cheese. Alright. I'm just going to incorporate the last of that in there like such. Get that butter to mix in. Oh yeah. That looks beautiful. Pay no mind to the dog drinking water in the background. He comes nowhere near me all day long until I get ready to make one of these videos, and then he likes to be in the action, but he's cute, so we don't mind so much. Alright. Okay, and then we're going to toss in our lemon zest and chives that I made earlier. Okay. Give that a little swoosh there. This looks just about perfect. All right. I'm gonna plate this up while till we make our scallops here. Try not to burn myself as I do this here. It should just kind of flow out like lava. Alright. Beautiful. That's going to be awesome for underneath our scallops. Alright. And be ready to make our scallops in just one moment. Time for another wine break. Okay, and now for the easy part, scallops. A lot of people are afraid of scallops. Scallops are delicious. I have a hot pan here with some butter in it. And we're going to momentarily put the scallops in there. So, scallops, you gotta get good ones. You can see those there. Okay, I've just lightly salt and peppered these on both sides. I got these from the Navasink Fishery here in town. They do some great stuff there. They also have a little restaurant in the back. It's a BYOB if you want to try it. It's a great little spot. But you really want dry scallops. So this is not a definition of scallops come out of the ocean. We got that. They're come out of the ocean wet. But it's how they're opened. Okay, so if they're dry opened, they're actually opening them without use of any water. There are wet open scallops. They actually use steam to open them. And that actually sucks, believe it or not, it sounds a little weird, sucks some of the juice out of the scallop. Makes them not as good. So sometimes if you see where they're a little white, or if there's some white liquid dripping out of them, that's often some side effects of the steam. And those aren't really the ones you want. You want the dry boat scallops, okay? So should be nice and hot now. And really, it's going to be like 2 minutes each side. You're just searing the outside. Just get a nice hard sear on the outside of these things. And then put them on top of our risotto. Hear like a little sizzle when you put them in the pan. All right. Definitely spread them out too. Don't stack them on top of each other. That is not what you want from your scallops, okay? Again, so it's going to be 2 minutes each side. Time for another ship of Chablis. Again, this Chablis is from, was imported by Paulaner. It's a great little Chablis. I will talk about it a little bit more when I'm eating. Okay, again, they're just sizzling in there nice, getting a nice crisp side on one side. We're a little over a minute into this now. We'll flip them over in just a second. And don't futz with your food while you're cooking it either, okay? I know some people like to look and flip things around. If you're over flipping stuff, you're just drying it out. Stop. Don't do that, all right? There's no reason for it. There's no reason for you to play with it. Just know how long it takes to cook. And again, in this case, about 2 minutes on each side. Give them a nice hard sear in the butter. And they'll be perfect. All right? No need to keep messing with them to see what they're doing on the other side. Trust yourself. All right? And some of that comes with practice. I get it. But you'll get there. All right, so we're about 2 minutes in here. I'm going to go ahead and give these a flip here. The most important thing is you really just don't want these to be overcooked. If you overcook them, they're going to be rubber. They're not going to, they will taste fine if you overcook them. I'm not saying to throw them out if you overcook them, but it's not going to be as good as it could be. And again, don't be afraid of scallops. Scallops are very expensive in restaurants because you're afraid of them. So you won't make them at home, so therefore restaurants get to charge crazy prices for them. While they're finishing up, I'm going to go ahead and set up a little risotto for myself. Okay. That looks amazing. Get some of that on the plate here. And just make a nice little line of it across the plate. Just give it some pretty presentation. And keep it a little high. And give it some depth. Alright. The scallops are just about done. I'll meet you at the table when I have them all plated up. Well, here we are with the finished product this evening. Scallops over lemon chive risotto, served along with a lovely Chablis. Again, Chablis, northernmost part of Burgundy. This is a 12.5% Chablis AOC, which is just your entry-level Chablis. You can get more fancy. It's not really necessary for tonight's dish. Let's try that with the risotto here. Delicious. This is a perfect pairing. And scallop as well. Scallop has a beautiful buttery taste. Pairs perfect with the Chablis. Remember, if you have any questions about pairing, wine, please feel free to comment here. Reach out to me on any of the social media. You can find me at iHeartWine, one word, iHeart, no E, my name, Heart, Wine, on Instagram, Facebook, iHeartWine.com. There's a message section there. You can leave a comment here on YouTube. You can find me just about everywhere. Happy to answer questions about pairing, where you can find certain wines, how to make dishes if you're interested. happy to do any of that kind of stuff. We also have chef services who can come to your home, do a date night if you're interested. Lots of fun stuff. We can do wine tasting nights. A lot of fun services we provide here at I Heart Wine. And until then, I hope you heart your wine as much as I do.